Hi, Tesla fanboys. We're actually about to have a rather serious conversation about how the Tesla Cybertruck is the genuine solution to this large socioeconomic instability in the West, specifically the United States. So this is really actually a super complicated idea, not just sensational clickbait. So if you're an actual Tesla fanboy, please click like and pay attention. I'm going to preface this whole video, or my whole sales pitch, I'm going to preface it with a conversation from the Rubin Report, which features Jordan Peterson, Eric Weinstein, and Ben Shapiro. So I'm going to play a clip for you now, and then we're going to talk about how the Tesla Cybertruck solves a genuine problem that these guys are outlining, and they're all talking about it. And it's interesting because they don't know the solution, and I do. I would love to talk with them, but I can't. So I'm just going to tell it you. And if you're listening, I'm very happy for you. We have to talk. Okay, really sorry about the audio quality, you guys, but here's the deal. I'm editing this right now, and I'm sort of making an assumption, and I kind of want to explain it real quick just to make sure you're on the same page with me. If you're a genuine Tesla fanboy, you need to understand that full self-driving is going to come out, and you need to realize that if you pre-order the Cybertruck with $100, which is very accessible, you can lock in the price of full self-driving package, which, if Tesla fanboys know, that's going to double, which to me primarily says I could go to a bank and say, hey, I ordered this truck. It's appreciated $8,000 in value, and I'm just assuming at this point it doubles. Okay? There's no other, you can't do that to any other situation. So what the real importance of this video, you guys, is that we're going to identify a problem in the society that everyone has, which is financial independence. Is terrifying and is hard to achieve in the United States, even though we're an extremely wealthy society and it feels like everyone is rich and you all have opportunity. We do. I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm assuming you already realize it's the Cybertruck, but we're about to talk about the problem, you guys, and how serious it is. And if you haven't already ordered one, you'll be convinced by the end of this video. All right, thanks for watching. Let's jump into Jordan Peterson's argument about wage stagnation.
Even if the average American isn't richer, let's say, although we could dispute that, the world that surrounds him is much richer, and that actually constitutes a form of accrued wealth. Because you're actually safer when a quarter of the Chinese aren't starving and a quarter of the Indians aren't starving. This. Okay, but then I would also say, although there's been local stagnation in the West, arguably, there's been massive global improvements. But then the other question is the idea of local stagnation actually accurate? Because there are lots of ways that we are clearly way richer than we were. Now, we're certainly richer in terms of our access to high quality information at a very, very low cost. And so the technological revolution seems to be real. And we can purchase a lot more of this high quality technology for less money than we could. So I'm not entirely convinced of the wage stagnation argument.
Okay, I hope you're sticking with me, you guys. This is a rather complex idea. What they're talking about right now is wage stagnation. The issue that I'm trying to identify, and I'm going to let them talk about it for a little bit longer, is in America, it used to feel like, from what I understand, it used to feel like if you worked hard and you tried, you'd end up with a pension and you'd be able to retire with your family with not so much variance and instability. Whereas now, everyone has so much access to opportunity and everyone is so rich that the smarter individuals get very wealthy, and almost everyone else is kind of like intentionally stuffed into the cracks of being poor. Now, and there are several feedback loops and systems that cause this, and this is a very complex discussion, so we can't have it in this video. I would highly recommend you watch their discussion about it. But I want to talk about the solution to this complex problem. So I'm going to let them talk about this problem a little bit longer.
I think that one of the things that really resonates about your message, and I feel a little bit less close to Ben on, is that somehow the message that you should improve your own life got conflated with, if your own life isn't awesome, it's because you failed to make it so. And I think that was sort of more true in a period of uniform high growth as between 1945 and 1970, when, if you had beta to the system. If you just had exposure, hard work usually paid off. I think that depending on what sector you're in, what your skill set is, where you are in your life, it's very hard for some people to turn things around. And the idea of, look, you may not be able to solve your problem, you solve the problems you confront, but you can solve the portion of the problems that you can solve yourself, and that you should at least do that. That is a very different message, because it says, even if I'm not living in luxury at the end of it, it's not because I failed. And I think that decoupling...
That's a fair distinction, and I would probably, given that criticism, I'd probably agree to the curbing of my own kind of solution, right? Like, I think that's right. Clearly there are people... We are all created equal in our rights. We're not all created equal in our abilities or in our capacity to rise or fall in a society.
Or in our sectors, or in terms of our...
100%.
And I would do the other half of that thing, which is I would climb down from asking, if more people were willing to admit that, I would say, okay, it's very important that people at least make a co-payment of trying to solve the problems in their own life before demanding that the outside world...
That's the part that I focus on more, simply because I think that the government is so big. I mean, this is where politics and philosophy meet, right? So I think the government is so big and so intrusive and so involved in so many areas of our life that the tendency right now in America is to blame other people for the problems that you have. And that's true on virtually every side of the aisle. When my solution to that is, there's not necessarily a solution. I think one of the lies is that there's always a solution to every problem that can be had if you just have enough communal power behind it. And I don't think that's right. I think that the solution for most problems in life, not all, because I don't think all problems in life ever get solved, but at least the majority of the major mistakes people make in their life that create obstacles that they can never overcome the rest of their life are self-inflicted. I think that barring serious health problems or mental disability, I think that the number of problems that make it impossible for you to overcome sheer dire poverty in the United States, virtually all of those problems are problems that people put in front of themselves. And so if you can make those basic decisions, then you can turn your life around in a pretty significant way.
All right, there you go, you guys. We have three really, really smart individuals discussing the fact that the reality of the situation is not everybody has the same opportunity, and the solution to that is, there's no solution. All right, I disagree. If you are aware, and again, this is why I would really appreciate it if you like this video, share it, go tell your favorite YouTubers about it, or however people share stuff on the internet. Facebook, do people do that? Anyway, this is why it's important, because if you're aware of the fact that the Tesla Cybertruck pre-orders for $100, and you're probably not going to get it for 2 or 3 years, which gives you plenty of time to fix your credit, save some money for your down payment and taxes, and, continue to live your life. That's just like not even a hard... Like, this one investment in either one Cybertruck, which I would recommend doing first, or a fleet of Cybertrucks, which if you're in a position to do that, then you're a very lucky individual. But, so you should try. You should try to become that way. So now, obviously... This is, again, where it becomes sort of a problem, where your potential sector, where you are in your life, you may not be in a position to buy a Cybertruck. But I have been trying to convince every single person I know to buy one, and I've not done a good job so far. So you let me know if I've done a good job down in the comments. Are you planning on... But now, that being said, this is actually not financial advice. But to me personally, I feel like this is a potential investment. So... that's how I see it, rather. So, yeah, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, anything like that. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. But if we think about this sort of societal problem, and if you're a Tesla fanboy, you kind of think of the Cybertruck as a real opportunity to get yourself out of that position, because it can pay for its loan. Like, you get a car auto loan, and you run it through the taxi network, and it makes more money than your loan payment, and therefore you cash flow, and then at the end of it you still have a Cybertruck, which is an asset that you can sell or whatever. So clearly you see this as an opportunity, and it's compounding too, because it's so cheap. You get one Cybertruck, which is basically your one share of your fleet network, and let's say you make $20,000 a year. If you get 5, that's $100,000 a year, profit after your loan payment and stuff. And I'm just totally making these numbers up, because what if it's 5,000? Who cares? Well, it does matter. The numbers matter. But I think it's going to be very profitable, to be honest. Like every time I run the numbers, which I'll do another video on running the numbers, or I highly recommend you check out Awesome Finance, because he does a pretty good job of this as well. You guys, I'll make more specific videos on the numbers, but I wanted to genuinely just put this out there to the universe and the internet. If you see the Cybertruck and you realize there's 700,000 pre-orders at least, probably more, you're not going to get it for several years if you order it now. So even if your credit is horrible and you owe lots of people money and you have nothing saved, you would have to try very hard to, if you can put yourself in a better position. Now, some people can't. You know, you might have a disability of some kind, or it'll take you longer than others, but everyone can incrementally increase their life, improve their life. And if you, and so I'm not going to try to tell you how to do that. I'm not going to preach at you or anything. That's not really my goal as a Tesla fanboy. But I hope you see the opportunity, and I really hope everyone is on a journey of self-growth. And if I were you, if you just slip a couple $100 towards that Tesla Cybertruck, it might pay off, dude. I don't know. It could, but and also another thing that I wanted to make with this video, and if you made it this far, then congratulations. I really appreciate you. You should probably subscribe. The point is, there's a huge opportunity for wealth distribution. And this is one of the reasons I think Elon Musk is like the savior of mankind. Like he sees the fact that not everyone has the same opportunity for wealth. And he wants everyone to like, he doesn't, I don't know. He wants a UBI, for instance. And jobs are not the wealth distribution. So I don't know if he did it intentionally or not, but he has now created an opportunity for huge amounts of wealth distribution, where anybody who's savvy enough to watch this video will order, or could order, a Cybertruck and have financial independence in a world where, listen to me, no one is there to save you, homie. Nobody. This is the important things. Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your own life. And take accountability. So this isn't like an easy thing. I'm not like saying, well, actually, it depends on who you are. Like, if you're a person that's relatively doing well, and you have an extra $100 to spare, and you don't have a ton of debt, order a ton of them. Don't really order a ton of them, but consider this as an option. But most people aren't in that position, or at least in my experience. So try to put yourself in a better position. I really appreciate you guys watching. That's sort of my point of this video. I highly recommend you watch the full Jordan Peterson, Eric Weinstein, Ben Shapiro conversation on the Rubin Report, because it is very, very interesting. Although they don't get to a solution. They only talk, it's kind of like a tease. You know, they talk about this this real bad problem, and they all go, yeah, somebody should do something about this, you guys. And then they leave to go do other events to make more money. They didn't have this for you. And I really want to talk to them, because it's like, well, they got a lot of other stuff going on, so they don't need to convince people of this. But if you're a Tesla fanboy, you're probably already talking about Tesla all the time. If you don't mind sharing this video or subscribing and sticking around, I'll try to make some other great content. And the audio quality and everything will get improved. It's not super high priority for me right now, but I wanted to put this out there. And it did take a lot of time. So if you enjoyed it, if you watched it, I appreciate it. Click like and subscribe. Have a great day.